two of the biggest meatheads on the internet just had one of the biggest clashes in combat sports. Yes, guys, today we're here to talk about the Bradley Martyn and Logan Paul fight and the cringe of this situation, guys, because Logan Paul really thought he did something here, and it is one of the worst things, and I don't see people talking about this, so I feel like the first guy to bring up how cringe this is, and we're gonna break it down. Just stick with me to the end of the video. You guys will see why I think this is cringe, but let me summarize it for you guys that probably don't know what's going on. About a year ago or so, Logan Paul and Bradley Martyn, they had a little bit of a feud because Bradley Martyn, this bodybuilder on the internet who does YouTube videos and podcasts, he said to, I think, Nate Diaz on a podcast, he said that he hopes Jake Paul gets knocked out.
I just want to see him like lose because he lost Tommy Fury, but he didn't lose in like a way where, because honestly, if he gets knocked out, it's just gonna be such a meme that I just want to see that, and maybe that's kind of up.
And I guess seeing that Logan Paul is his brother, felt the need to defend Jake's honor, despite screwing over Jake time and time again. Yeah, Logan Paul is the worst person to do this. He is the worst brother to his own brother. But after Logan Paul called out Bradley Martyn posted and said, hey, let's go fight in front of his gym, and just wanted to have a street fight. And this was a year ago, and for some reason, Logan Paul decided to finally respond to this and say, hey, I am down. Let's go. Let's fight. And I'm a little confused as to why. Really, I think the only reason I'm going to explain why has to be some sort of insecurity issue, because let's be honest, do I have a problem with him going out to fight Bradley Martyn? Of course not, right? Bradley Martyn, first of all, is a moron for calling out Logan Paul. Like, there's no way Bradley Martyn is going to beat Logan. Bradley Martyn is just a bodybuilder, right? He isn't a guy who, you know, participates in combat sports whatsoever. But my point is that if Logan Paul was so offended by this comment, why didn't he just do it then? Like, the whole year has passed. I do not believe that they were not in LA both at the same time for the past year. Like, this is just a strange, out of nowhere call out. It just seems like an excuse to have an easy fight to get some sort of credit for it, and that is what I think is cringe, and we're gonna break it down right now.
Not down to run a real event? I've seen you mention an MMA fight a couple times. No, bro. I'm gonna pull up on you, facilitated by my friend Mike, the businessman, and we're gonna see what happens.
I mean, I just like the fact that he's gonna pull up on Bradley Martyn, right? A guy who kind of just said some stupid shit about Jake, like nothing that was out of crazy, right? This wasn't like an out-of-pocket comment, but he's not gonna pull up on the guy that has still been posting stuff about his wife, about his family. And gee, I wonder why he wants to pull up on the bodybuilder with no fighting experience instead of the guy with a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You eliminate that bitch from your life!
I wonder why. It must be just a coincidence. And while yes, the two did fight and Logan Paul 100% won that boxing match, let's be honest, the fight was kind of a light spar. Dillon Danis did nothing in that fight, and neither did Logan. Like, yeah, Dillon Danis embarrassed himself in that fight 1000%, but Logan Paul has nothing to be proud about in that fight either. I talked about it when it happened, and to me, I thought it just showed how terrible of a boxer Logan is, that he wasn't able to set up anything, or maybe throw something that is not a 1-2.
So tomorrow, I'm gonna come by, and we can do this once and for all.
I thought we were just talking about fighting in the street.
That's cool too.
A street California.
That's totally.
Are you gonna try to come with camera, or are you gonna do it legit?
You tell me. I mean, I'm sure someone will film it if there's people around. But do you want cameras or no?
I want to do something bigger, but if I can't, then like, why have it on the internet if I can just do
Bradley.
That does make sense.
I'm sorry. Don't back out, bro.
Now, this part I think is particularly cringe just because clearly Logan Paul doesn't really even understand what Bradley is saying. And I want to give credit to Bradley because he is actually pretty calm about the situation. And maybe that just shows maybe how dumb he is because he genuinely thinks he could beat Logan. But he's really calm. Like, this guy really does seem ice cold confident. And to me, I would even think like, damn, this guy knows something I don't. So credit to him. And I do want to say, yeah, Bradley Martyn brings up a good point about this whole fight. And he says, look, if this isn't going to be an event, if this isn't going to be something that's going to give me revenue, why have anyone film it? Let's just do it privately. And that's kind of what I interpreted from him saying that. And I guess Logan Paul, and we see this later on, I'm going to point it out later, Logan Paul clearly wants this to be filmed because he's doing this for public attention, right? He is doing this for people give him a pat on the back for beating Bradley Martyn, which why would anybody give him a pat on the back for doing so? Like, Jake and Logan have been training in combat sports for around 7 years, and they still continue to be just bullies trying to fight people that don't have experience just so that they look better instead of fighting, you know, competitive fights and actually getting respect that way.
No, it's not, you know, I understand. Why have it on the internet?
It's worth everything when you beat my ass, right?
So here we could see Logan trying to pressure Bradley to try to put it on the internet because, like I said, he is only doing this to impress whoever. Like I said, I don't even know who would be impressed by this. Like, what brain dead people are going to see this and think, wow, Logan Paul actually did something. Like, I'd be more impressed if he pulled up on Dillon Danis at this point. And keep in mind, Bradley Martyn had never said anything about filming it. In his original tweet, he says, no cameras, no content. So for the record, Bradley isn't backing out of anything. He is keeping his word, and it is Logan who is wanting to make this an extra big thing. And then they start to get going at Bradley Martyn's gym, and even Logan Paul's own wife is trying to stop this, like, dude. But look, like I said, I do not have a problem with him going to fight Bradley Martyn. Bradley Martyn asked for it. My problem simply is the fact that he is flexing it all over social media, and I'm gonna get into it more at the end of the video, and I'll show you even more what I'm talking about. But let's get into it, guys. They're going to the gym, and halfway through, Logan Paul starts violating his friend Mike, basically because Mike is even trying to stop Logan, saying, dude, this is just stupid. Why are you gonna do this? And then Logan absolutely violates Mike. Like, I almost kind of laughed here.
He thinks this is about him. He thinks this is about him. Has nothing to do with you. If you didn't notice, you're the odd man out.
Of what?
Everyone here is on the same team except you.
Well, no, I'm on your team.
Well, we're
really on your team.
I just love you could hear Mike's heart break when he's like, what?
Of what?
Like, poor Mike, dude. Like, Mike's just here for the content. So Logan Paul finally reaches to the gym, and we see his first interaction with Bradley Martyn.
Good, bro. Are you ready? All right, we got waivers.
Yeah.
Here.
So we're doing that?
My thesis is you have cameras everywhere in this gym.
Like, this is what I find the most cringe about Logan Paul, hearing him talk, and one of the reasons why I feel like he has fallen off. Like, this guy has become such a robot. Like, who in their right mind says on a regular day-to-day basis, especially when you're about to fight a guy, my thesis is blank.
My thesis is you have cameras everywhere in this gym.
It's as if, like, he looked through a thesaurus to try to find better words and just goes with that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, who the hell is going to say my thesis is? And guys, this isn't just a one-time thing. Pay attention to him. He is crazy with this kind of stuff. Then Logan Paul decides to once again pressure Bradley Martyn in a last attempt to try to get this thing filmed so everybody can praise the one and only Logan Paul.
You did not post anything.
This doesn't say that.
Make it say that. I'm down for whatever you want to do like that.
But you don't want to film it.
I didn't want to film it. No.
But you also wanted to fight in front of the zoo culture.
I said no cameras, no content.
Be in front of zoo culture.
Yeah, no cameras, no content. This is specific to that.
So if we're going by the tweet, and that's what we're going by.
No cameras.
Let's pop. No cameras, no content. We'll stop. We'll pop out front, like in the tweet.
Okay.
Wait, why? No, why? You do it on the ground with it soft.
So here Logan is using the reasoning, basically saying, like, look, if we're gonna follow this tweet exactly, we gotta fight outside then, so why can't we make changes to the tweet if you're allowed to make changes to the tweet? Well, obviously in this circumstance it makes no sense to have a fight on a street fight. Well, first of all, street fights are just not safe in general, but if you're gonna have one, obviously it's going to be when there's real beef. I mean, Logan Paul literally entered the gym and dabbed up Bradley Martyn right away. I mean, if you guys have a gym, why not just use it and fight there? And I think it's fair to say that even Logan Paul agrees with me, because Bradley Martyn even says he's down to do it in front of zoo culture. He says, all right, let's go outside and do this. And I gotta say, man, you know, I don't know much about Bradley Martyn. I don't really follow him, but I gotta say respect to this guy, because yeah, he is down to fight Logan when he is probably at a disadvantage. Well, definitely at a disadvantage. He has a disadvantage in terms of the skill, and he's saying, yo, let's do this on the street. He called for this fight, and I gotta give him props. He backed it up. Obviously, he did not win the fight, but credit to him, man. Honestly, I gotta say respect to this guy, because yeah, he does not know what's coming for him. Now here, they finally address the heart of the beef, and I gotta say, Bradley Martyn, I might have been too harsh calling him a meathead in the beginning, because here he actually kind of just beats Logan Paul at his own game and argues with him.
Why did you say that?
Why did I say what I want to see Jake Paul?
Yeah. I thought you. Yeah, but I thought you and Jake are cool.
No.
We are, but by the same token, like, if you really felt that way about me contacting you directly, you would have just contacted me directly, not got on the internet and said that. So when you said that about me outwardly,
Generally, when someone says something live on a podcast, it is fair game to reciprocate that live on a podcast.
yeah, it's fair.
You know?
But to say you could have texted me, because I didn't think it was, when I said it, I didn't think it was like some malicious bad thing.
So here I kind of actually started to agree with Logan Paul, but Bradley Martyn brings up a good point here. Basically, if you guys recall, of course, this whole beef stemmed from Bradley Martyn saying to Nate Diaz that he wanted to see Jake Paul get knocked down. Basically just said it would be a funny meme. It didn't really go beyond that. He even gave praise to Jake, saying that they were cool. And I don't get why Jake would be offended by this. He was. I mean, this is his whole thing. Doesn't he want to be the bad guy? Isn't his name the problem child? This is how you're marketing yourself. You want everyone to want you to get knocked out, so then why are you surprised to hear people say this? But I agree with Martyn. Look, I understand Jake Paul feeling a certain type of way about this, but Logan Paul, why would he care? And I don't even think Jake Paul would care enough to fight Bradley Martyn. Clearly, he's not here to fight him. And once again, I'm going to tell you guys, this whole thing is just a ruse for Logan Paul to have an excuse to beat Bradley Martyn and then to, you know, get the praise and get the clout. But Bradley's right. It's not like he said anything totally out of pocket about Jake that was uncalled for. So why would he feel the need to text Logan or Jake and say, hey, I said this slight little thing on a podcast that lasted a few seconds that, let's be honest, didn't exactly really cut deep to Jake.
I'm working on all of that.
I respect it.
But like,
you know, I have to stick up for Jake when I can.
I'm glad Logan Paul is such a good brother that he has Jake's back 100% and will stand up against all of Jake's enemies. You post more pictures with KSI than your own wife, bro. Like, I'm glad you stand up for Jake more than you do for your own wife, because Logan Paul pulls up to the gym to Bradley Martyn to beat his ass, but just peppers Dylan Dennis with jabs in their fight. But finally, the epic brawl goes down, and of course, Bradley Martyn lost.
That's it. That's it.
Oh my god, bro. I can't, bro. Like, Logan is acting as if he just went in and had an all-out war with a guy. Like, dude, this is the most dramatic thing I think I've ever seen. Then Logan kind of low bros him and kind of says, oh, that was only a little percentage of what he can do.
Now at least, by the way, that was fucking nothing, Brad, I'll be honest. Yeah. There's levels to this shit.
And then the two proceed to agree to maybe a future MMA match, which, you know, I think Logan Paul would easily win. Like, I don't understand the appeal to that. But regardless, this is the most cringe part, right? Of course, no content, no cameras. But Logan doesn't really feel this, because even though he could not put this on social media, he did not stop to call everyone from his phone book, as well as making multiple social media posts talking about the fight, instead of just keeping it low-key, because Logan isn't like that. Logan isn't a real fighter, so stick to WWE, bro. This is not for you, Logan. But guys, if you guys like more videos like this, I made a video last week talking about Logan Paul suing Ryan Garcia. Talked about that situation a little bit. I also make videos about MMA, just in general, if you guys are new to the channel. Made videos about the whole Conor McGregor situation. Go check that out, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, boxing, and all of social media, I guess. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.